Hi, so this is the video helper for setting up a new free email account, and we need one of these for reasons explained in the podcast. Let's start with Google. I'm going to google.co.uk because the UK is where I am, and that's where the podcast series is talking about, so I don't think that should be too controversial. And let me search for create a Gmail account. And here we are. So let's sign up for a new Gmail account, and we just want something. The plan isn't that this is used regularly, but it does need to be used a little bit. So let's hope that we can find something suitable. So let's suppose this is Christchurch, and let's try what Christchurch1234@gmail.com with a password. Okay, let's try Christchurch12345. All of these are taken. Let's try testing Christchurch. We can just carry on until we get one. And let's see if we're allowed to skip this. No, it wants some details. So let's go for the 6th of 666. And what gender is a church? Who knows? Christ, welcome to Google. I'm not sure that was the effect I was looking for, but still. Okay, it doesn't like... Oh, it doesn't like the year 66. Perhaps it wants a 19. I should have spotted that, right? So I'm going to have to pretend, like with so many things online, that I've read all of those instructions. Hey, it does say you're in control. That's got to be great. We're going to do one thing. So this account, I believe, is now created. But there's one thing I'd like to do before we move on, which is let's go to Gmail, where let's guess there's going to be a friendly welcome email message. And there are various things I really ought to have done, and you should do, like set a recovery email address, should be your email address, and so on. But one thing I'm going to do just now is to try and skip out of this welcome. That's going to get me every time. And because this email address is only really what you might call a tactical one, there might be occasions when I need to send from it, but mostly it's just to help me do a few things. Let me just fix the language to UK English, because why wouldn't we? Save those changes. But what I'm looking at, the forwarding. So I'm going to forward this to my regular email address, and that's going to take 2 steps. So I can set up, initiate the forwarding here, but because Google certainly knows that that's a feature that can be abused, and it runs a great many email accounts, and so every possibility for how to abuse that will have been tried, and they're trying to make sure that that doesn't get promoted too much. By the way, you may already have a Gmail account, and I'm not saying you can't use that, but we're using this email address for a slightly different purpose. Regarding it as temporary, it's helping us with one particular job, and so for me, I quite like having an email address that's not going to get in the way of anything else. but at the same time it may always pop up again. So knowing that it's going to be there, it's going to stay there, I don't have to do anything to keep it in existence, but I do want to set a forwarding address. So I'm going to forward it to jeremy@churchfreeweb.co.uk, which is the email address you will use if you have any questions you want to raise to me by that route. And this process is initiated, but it also needs to be confirmed. So once I go into my own email, and I should see a message, so I want to do that straight away because my email box fills up really quickly. I should see that message asking for permission to forward, and I'll say yes. And what that means is that any email that comes to this address, I'm going to use for just a email address as well. So make sure that you have a note of the password, or you've allowed your browser to save the password. Make sure that you don't skip the step I skipped, which is to give a recovery email. Use your own proper email address as a recovery email. And we're now done. This won't get in the way of your Google account if you already have a Gmail address, because Google copes with the idea that you might have multiple accounts. So you don't need to worry about that. This is the end of the exercise. Thanks very much for watching.